Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, debt slaves, serfs, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks. I'm Useful Idiot. Welcome. And as long as I'm talking about Biden and his vindictiveness and pettiness and pithiness, let's talk about his pardons. So, of course, as everyone knows, Biden pardoned his son Hunter Biden after saying he wouldn't for the last year or so. And that's been outraged everyone, including Democrats. Apparently, 80% of Americans disapprove of him doing that. But it's getting weirder, of course, as everything does. It just gets weirder because now he is the king of presidential pardons. He's pardoned so far 8,062 people, and amazing. We're going to do a comparison here in a minute, but it's kind of funny because first of all, he's commuting the sentences of about 15 low-level drug prisoners, and 1,500 is a drop in the bucket. It's kind of ironic that we live in this day and age where marijuana is legal all over the country and a lot of states, and yet we have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people in jail for small-time drug offenses. So the fact that he's only commuting the sentences of 1,500 is really kind of a slap in the face for all the people that are still sitting in prison for these low-level drug crimes. And I would also add that it's kind of ironic that Biden is one of the people who called for harsh sentences for people caught with crack and cocaine. As I brought it before, here it is with Hunter, with hundreds of hours of documentation that he's been doing crack and cocaine for a couple of decades, and he's not in prison. He's not in prison for that, and Biden doesn't even talk about that. And so I imagine there's lots of people in prison because of Biden and his 3 strikes you're outlaw that are in prison because of possession of cocaine or crack, and yet his son with piles and mountains of evidence that he's been abusing that law to say the least. And but there's no talk of him being in prison for doing crack or cocaine. But these recent pardons are really getting squirrely, and of course I have a theory about that. First of all, he pardoned these Chinese spies, but of course with his close connections with communist China, shouldn't be any surprise that he's going to be pardoning some of them. But then he also pardoned the corrupt judge, Michael Conahan, who had a kickback scheme of making sure people were put in prison and kept there, got over $2 million in kickbacks, and for some reason he got pardoned. And then, of course, we also have that woman, Rita Granwell, who embezzled $54 million, the worst case of municipal embezzlement in U.S. history, a town of only 15,000 people, and she managed to embezzle $54 million and live like a goddess. And she got pardoned. And so one of my theories about that is the fact that a lot of people are just lining up with the old man and just having him sign everything in sight. And everybody that has a little pet pardon that they want are going to slip it under his pen, and he's going to sign it. So it'll be interesting going forward to see what other kind of wild pardons he makes. But it really is outrageous. And it's outrageous that he's just on a pardon frenzy. And of course, we've also heard that there could be a lot of preemptive pardons for people that might be face reprisal when Trump comes into office, including Dr. Fauci, Liz Cheney, who's under fire right now. She's going to get a bunch of charges against her soon, so he better pardon her pretty quick. And so all these preemptive pardons that we could probably look for, so because he's got another 20 days, he could pardon a shitload more people before he's out of office. And so we'll be looking for some more outrageous examples of people he pardons. But it's really interesting looking at historically the presidents and their pardons. Nixon pardoned 926 people. Ford pardoned 409 people, including Nixon himself. Carter pardoned 566 people. Reagan, in 8 years, only pardoned 406 people. Hats off to him. George H. Bush only pardoned 77 people. Bill Clinton pardoned 459 people. George W. Bush only pardoned 200 people. That's surprising because a lot of people in his administration could be charged with war crimes easily for lying us into the Iraq War. But amazingly, he only pardoned 200 people. And Trump, let's skip ahead a little bit. Trump only pardoned 237 people in his first term. And so it's kind of funny with all the liberals out there screaming that Trump is not going to have any guardrails this time, and he pardoned some family members during his administration, and they're all screaming about his power to pardon anybody he wants in his upcoming term. Yeah, once again, you look at his first term, and he didn't pardon that very many people. But to step back one, Obama pardoned 1,927 people. So 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 times more than most other presidents of the late 20th century. And no surprise that he would pardon a lot of people. So that seemed like a big number. But now here we are with Biden, who's pardoned 8,062 people. And as the video title points out, he's got another month, and he's got time to pardon pretty much the rest of the country if he wants, except for, of course, Trump supporters. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too?